Hi, this is Jen and welcome to our next episode of Where Can Invest? You may find the background very familiar and wonder where am I? Actually, we are now today at Clarke Quay. What are we doing here is, basically, I grew up in this area. When I was born, I was actually living around here, and I have actually lived here more than 20 years. So you can actually safely say my childhood, whatever I am, I actually had it here. Okay, this is my fault. There's a lot of fond memories of me living here. I remember I jumped to the river from this bridge, and I do remember we had a community center which is nearby. It's Havelock Community Center. I think it's no more around then. I used to play for the basketball team representing the community center, and after the basketball, we usually will actually sit around here. Of course, that time there's no barricade at all. We actually sit on the step, talking, facing to the old warehouse. That was during the 80s, and that was a time where the government was clearing up this river. So but the warehouse in front was actually deserted, and there are some wild dogs. So you can really see darkness if you come at the night. Nothing over there, it's so quiet. But if you know history about Singapore, Singapore started their history right along this Singapore River, from Boat Quay down to Clarke Quay. Okay, a lot of times when we talk about Boat Quay, Clarke Quay, the first thing in our mind we always remember is the coolies. But who does the coolies work for? Who did they work for? They work for the businessmen, the rich men, who own all these warehouses. And they are the ones who actually built this whole river. If you can go back to the history of Clarke Quay and Boat Quay, you can see a lot of our famous philanthropies and all those, they are actually like Tan Tock Seng, Tan Kim Seng, Joseph Balestier. You know, they are the ones who actually built this river, started Singapore economy from here. And I can remember we used to have a tall building, Liang Court. Inside is our popular and very favorite shopping mall called Daimaru. Why Daimaru is so popular? Because at the basement there is this supermarket where they sell all the things from Japan. And during that time, to get things from Japan, you really only have a few places to go. One of them is Johan. I think for those people who are around my era, Johan, and then the next one is Daimaru. This is where we actually get to enjoy buying things from overseas, okay? And that is why around this area, there's a lot of Japanese love to come here and rent the place here because of the Daimaru shopping mall. Then after that, of course, Daimaru closed down, and there you have this Media. Media is still around. They have actually moved away because they have actually torn down Liang Court. It is really very pitiful, but it is the next transformation that is coming because Clarke Quay has never stopped transforming. Since in the early 90s or maybe late 1800s, early 1900s, this place has transformed Singapore from a fishing village to a trading center for the Southeast Asia and around the world. And today, it has actually transformed to a new levels. Okay, it went through about at least 2 transformations since the Singapore government cleared the river. In 1989, government has actually declared this whole place as a heritage place. It's a conservation area. So CapitaLand actually tendered this whole area at Clarke Quay, transform it, all the old warehouses, they actually renovate it, upgrade it, and become it a lot of restaurants, pubs, and a lot of nice place actually for the people who love bars and everything. That was a time where a lot of people come here for party. If you do remember, there was a very famous club here, which is, what was the name of the club? Zouk? MOS. There's this also, there was this also, I think it's from France, where actually the ladies bare their top. What was the, I cannot remember, it's like a cabaret thing, you know. That was a time where there was an area that so many people really come for the shows. And of course, Kuma has a show here. I cannot remember what is that, but they started their business and here was their boom boom room, yes, or maybe Shanghai, I cannot remember, but here so colorful in the 90s, So a lot of party, that time I think people were already starting to call it club instead of disco. So Zouk was actually across the river near to the other side. So that was the time where Clarke Quay actually become alive, because in the late 80s, early 90s, it was really like a big town. And then we have a lot of parties, restaurants, a lot of international chefs came over here. Then after that, opposite Clarke Quay, there's this river point. They start to build, revamp, and then they have more shops. Brewworks is here. So this is still here around, and then they actually makes the whole place alive again with all the drinking. You know, have a lot of people who actually from working in the town at the CBD area, they actually just have their dinner, and after that, a night out drinks here. Okay, the next transformation actually came only a couple of years ago, probably 10 years ago, where actually Clarke Quay, CapitaLand, clear them out again, clear some of the tenants out, and start to bring in new tenants. Okay, then of course it came back alive again. On the other hand, now today we are actually ready for the next transformations. You see, Clarke Quay actually transformed since in the 80s, or maybe you can say it transformed the whole Singapore since in the late 1800s. And today is non-stop transforming. And now you can see the building of the Liang Court already pulled down. They are ready for the next one. It is a new integrated development, consists of about 700 units of residential, and they're going to have service apartment, they're going to have hotels, and below is going to be a shopping mall again. And next to it, Clarke Quay is ready for it again, because I saw some of the shops, they clear them out, ready for the next transformations. And today, right across it is a Fort Canning MRT, actually just across the road. Last time there's no MRT, the closest MRT is Clarke Quay, which is still quite a distance away. So, so if this one is up, you can see the convenience of it. And in fact, you can see my background. At the back, other than in the town area where the CBD area has a tall building, surrounding you can see they are all actually low-rise buildings. So imagine you own a unit here, you are unblocked totally. Right behind you is Fort Canning, right in front of you is the Singapore River. Above it you can see all these old warehouses which is already upgraded, renovated. So imagine you own a unit here, you are owning not only a property, you are owning a piece of history of Singapore, you are owning a wealth of Singapore, because a lot of wealthy men started their wealth from this river, from all these warehouses. Canninghill Piers is located next to Singapore River on the former site of Liang Court, Buiding, Clarke Quay. Fort Canning MRT station is right next door, which is probably less than a minute walk, and Clarke Quay station is about 8 minutes walk away. While Canninghill Piers will have its own shopping mall, Canninghill Square, if you still wish for more shopping choices, UE Square is right across, and Plaza Singapura along Orchard Road is about 4 minutes drive away. For those who love walking along the tranquil walkway lined with mature trees, a mere 15 to 60 minutes walk will get you there. For those who are looking for a good primary school, Rio Valley Primary School is still within 1 kilometer. Okay, this is one of the oldest mansions in Singapore. It's called the River House. It is actually originally owned by a very renowned businessman called Tan Yok Ni. He actually owns a lot of warehouses here, and he owns a lot of business, starting from Malacca and booking. Okay, let's take a look at the plate here. Okay, it's actually written here, River House. It is, for here they only name Tan, which we already find out from National Library, is Tan Yok Ni who owned this house, this mansion. And this is one of the 2 traditional Chinese-style mansions only in Singapore. So imagine they actually start conserving this in the early 90s. So actually the Singapore government did a very good job. Okay, right behind me, did you see anything? Nothing at this moment because the old Liang Court was torn down a few months ago. Lucky I came here to take pictures a few times before it was torn down. And I'm going to flash a few of the photos to let you reminisce the old Liang Court. So enjoy! Right behind me is the old Liang Court. You can see that actually there's constructions going on here. Okay, the new place they're going to call it Canninghill Piers, and the shopping mall is going to call Canninghill Square. I guess why they call it Canninghill is because right in front of it is the Fort Canning Hill. So you can imagine living here overlooking at the Fort Canning Hill here. And below, behind me, it was an old River Valley swimming pool. It was a public pool. In fact, I learned how to swim from this swimming pool. Okay, behind this two small building here, it used to be the men's washroom and the ladies' washroom. And today you can see it's actually Tiong Bahru Bakery. Now I'm standing across the Liang Court, which actually you can see the old sign is still there. And then walking right here, next to the building is actually the Fort Canning MRT stations. So you can imagine how convenient this location is going to be. Okay, this building, don't forget, is called Canninghill Piers, and the shopping mall is Canninghill Square. Well, this one is the former River Valley Swimming Complex. I do remember actually I learned how to swim in here. Yeah, you can see actually the old days, the 1950s. It was built in 1959, which I actually do not know until I see this plaque. And it was, at that time, 520,000 to build a swimming pool was really very, very costly. Okay, so I do remember this jumping board because right below is a 10-meter pool. I remember that time when I learned how to swim, actually I was sit right at the bottom of this pool at 10-meter depth, and then stop my breathing, hold my breath to learn how to hold for as long as 1 minute. This actually carries so many fond memories of my old days. Okay, we've come to the end for this little tour. I hope you like it. Stay tuned for part 2 for in-depth review of Canninghill Piers and Square. Stay updated by following me on my social, Facebook and Instagram. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. Leave your thoughts on the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to us for the future new project review, and click on to the bell sign for the notifications. I'm Jen Time Property. I love to hear from you. I'm now very hungry. I'm going for my lunch at Tiong Bahru Bakery, which used to be the men's room.